YouTube, welcome back to another video, and as you can see, I finally got my tripod. My camera's a bit weird on my phone because the camera's like off to the side on my phone. That's why it looks like it's off center for the tripod, but it's not. But anyways, welcome to a bit of a classic video. Today I've got my old Cyber Dragons, for one of my first ever decks from when I started playing. This deck is as old as my Yu-Gi-Oh career, so it's classic. It was 39 cards, and I tried to find the 40th card. I believe the 40th card was this, was Limiter, because at the time I believe Limiter was at 1 when I was playing this. I don't remember if it wasn't Limiter. It was Cyber Dragon Zwei or Cyber Dragon Dry. So, anyways, let's get into this. So, starting this classic old school list off, we've got 3 copies of Cyber Dragon. Notice the different artworks. Back then, I was like, oh yeah, I love Cyber Dragon and everything. And then I saw that Cyber Dragon had an alt art where it was dark, and I was like, ooh, I really like that one. But it was harder to come by. So my brother-in-law made this deck for me. He bought the cards and whatever. And my sister pitched in as well. Basically, it was a gift from my brother-in-law and sister, and yeah, so they made a compromise. They got me one or 2 of the white Cyber Dragon, 1 of the black one. The black Cyber Dragon, harder to come by, and it's still a pricey freaking card. Like, I'm planning to make a up-to-date version of this deck to where it's like, it's got the modern support and whatnot, but for right now, with how expensive everything is, that's gonna be on the back burner. Next up, we have 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core. Everybody knows what Core does, and if you don't know what Cyber Dragon does, let me just tell you what he does. If your opponent controls a monster while you control no monsters, special summon him. So yeah, there you go. If you don't know what Core does, his effect, whenever he is normal summoned, you can add a Cyber Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand, which is great. Then he has another effect where, while he's in the graveyard, you can banish him to summon a Cyber Dragon from your deck. And he has the usual effect that a lot of the Cyber Dragon monsters have, and that's that it counts as Cyber Dragon on the field and in the graveyard. So, a fun little combo with Core is normal summon it, you search out like Rev System, Repair Plant, whatever you don't have that's actually like an extender. Then you machine dupe it for 2 Cyber Dragons out of your deck, which is great. Next up, another of the more expensive cards at the time because it didn't have any reprints. 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Dry, Cyber Dragon 3, which, fun fact about the Cyber Dragons, a lot of them are German words for different numbers and parts of the body. So Cyber Dragon Dry is Cyber Dragon 3. And yeah, he's just really good. He has the effect whenever he is, I believe, just normal summoned. Yeah, whenever he's normal summoned, you can make all of your Cyber Dragons level 5. So that's already great. And then he has an effect that whenever he's banished, you can target a Cyber Dragon or just a cyber or a machine monster or something like that. Let me check right quick. So you target a Cyber Dragon, and it becomes unkillable by battle and card effects for a turn. And it has the usual floating effect that he is Cyber Dragon on the board. Next up, probably the most expensive card in this deck right now. 2 Proto Cyber Dragons. These puppies used to not be worth a whole lot because, well, it's Proto Cyber Dragon. Its only effect is that it's Cyber Dragon on the board. However, these my 2 super rares are roughly like $12 right now, and I'm like, whoa, man, times have changed. But yeah, 2 Proto Cybers. I mean, like, it's a Cyber Dragon. Back in the day, we didn't have Hares, we didn't have Fear, we didn't have Noxter, we didn't have any of that stuff. So, there he is. Now, here's a bit of a weird one for you. You ready for this? We've got 2 Cyber Valleys. If it looks like Cyber Dragon, you play it in Cyber Dragons. What I mainly used it for was its battle phase effect, because that was actually useful at one point. And the battle phase effect is if this face-up card is targeted for an attack, you can banish it to end the battle phase and draw a card. And that has another effect that involves you like banishing it and another Cyber Dragon from your I believe you banish Cyber Dragon from your hand or something like that, and you draw 2 cards or something. It's something like that. I'm not going to read it because it's Cyber Valley. Nobody's going to run that in a modern build of Cyber Dragons. It eats your normal summon. It can get you a Link Karibo. I just realized you can use it for a Link Karibo, but you don't need Link Karibo anymore. Oh, God. Okay, next up, we have 1 copy of Zwei, which, I'm going to be honest with you, Zwei probably, you can not play it and it would be fine. Because Zwei's effect is, you have to reveal a spell card in order for Zwei to become Cyber Dragon while he's on the board. And that's no bueno. Having to reveal to your opponent like a Power Bond or any of your other big blow them out of the water spells, that's no fun. That's no good. So, yeah. Yep, bad. And then he has like a mediocre battle phase effect where when it battles an opponent's monster, he gains 300 or whenever he attacks an opponent's monster, he gains 300 attack during the damage step only. Which is dumb. So, yeah. Next up, we have 1 copy of Cyber Barrier Dragon. Yeah, ooh, I bumped my tripod. Oops. But yeah, this card used to be okay back in the day. Yeah, cool. Cyber Barrier Dragon. Its effect is, while it's in face-up attack position, negate the first attack of your opponent's battle phase. It's only 800 attack points and 2,800 defense points. So it's like, you have your pros and cons. You know, the pro is, if your opponent only has 1 monster out, after you summon this thing, or if you summon it in the battle phase, in attack position, when they've only got 1 monster to swing at you with, it's like, hey, I can negate your attack, and then on my turn, swap it to defense. Which, by the way, the other part of its effect is it can only be special summoned by the effect of Attack Reflector Unit, which is a trap card, which is slow. So this card is already bad because it has to be summoned by a trap card. So yeah. Bad. Very bad. So next up, we have 1 copy of Cyber Laser Dragon. I'm going to be honest. Cyber Laser Dragon actually is not that bad. 2,400 attack, Has to be special summoned by okay, Photon Generator Unit. Yeah. Photon Generator Unit is a quick play spell, which is great. And it has an effect, it has a alternative white dragon like effect to destroy a card, but I believe it has to have higher attack or defense than Laser Dragon's attack. And that doesn't stop it from being able to attack during the battle phase this turn, which I really like that. I think it's good because a lot of stuff today has higher attack, and I believe it doesn't target. Let me check. Yeah, it just says destroy a monster with attack or defense greater than or equal to this card's attack. So at 2400 attack, you're non-targeting removing a big threat. Like, ooh, Cyber Laser Dragon is amazing. And you can use it on your, or you can do shenanigans. So, yeah, that's great. I love it. I might actually consider playing this card in a modern build because it's actually not bad. And it's a soft once per turn, so it's like you summon multiple copies of it in the same turn, which I believe, yeah, you can technically do. I don't know if you'd want to because of Photon Generator Unit. But you get what I'm saying. Non-targeting destruction of a monster with 2400 or more attack. That's great. Like, this is an old card. Nobody plays it, and it's great. So, I'm going to clean this up, and we'll get right into the spells. Alright, so starting us off with the spells, it's actually a card that literally everybody plays in Cyber Dragons, I believe. Hopefully, it's a good card. Cyber Repair Plant. This card has been around for a long time. And it has gotten a few reprints. Hold on, I'm going to grab a drink right quick. Boop, 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 boop. Feels good. By the way, if I sound like I'm sick, I'm not. While I was away in Indiana, I had a sore develop at the back of my throat, and it really hurts. And it's causing a slight sore throat and swelling. I promise it's just a sore, so don't worry. I'm okay. I don't have the Rona. But anyways, back on with the Repair Plant. So the Repair Plant has two different effects, and if you meet a certain requirement, you can use both of them. One of them is you can add a cyber monster from your deck to your hand or something like that. And the other one is you can target 2 light machine monsters in your graveyard and shuffle them back into your deck. I believe that's what it does. No, you add a light machine from your deck to your hand. It doesn't have to be a Cyber Dragon. So any light machine. So for all of you fucking Galaxy Eyes players that are playing Galaxy Soldier, you can play this and search your Galaxy Soldier. Yeah. Galaxy Soldier. Oh god. I'm fucking stupid. But yeah, it's a good card. It's super good. It's generic search without a cost. It's great. Next up, we have the slightly worse first stream of destruction for Cyber Dragons. Just kidding. Basically, Evolution Burst is the name of the card. But what it does is you can, or if you control a Cyber Dragon, you can target, I believe, a card, or you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Cyber Dragons you control can't attack for the turn. I believe that's what it do. Yeah, you just target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. So regular Cyber Dragon can't attack when you do this. So like, let's say your opponent has a back row, and you manage to get a Cyber Dragon on the board. You activate this, and you pop their back row because it's spooking you. It's scary. Like, ooh, battle traps, man. Yeah. Oh god, excuse me. Oh, here's a fun one. Next, we have 3 cybernetic fusion supports. Who remembers this card? Who? Comment if you remember this card. By the way, its effect is pay half your life points, and if you would fusion summon a machine monster this turn, you can banish materials from your hand or graveyard for the fusion summon. I don't know why it puts specifically hand in there, or it's either deck or graveyard. I'm pretty sure. I know it lets you banish from the graveyard if you fusion summon this turn after using it. So, like, how you would do this is you would poly or power bond, slap this down, and you would just banish all of your fucking materials in the graveyard, and you would just yeet this shit out. You would yeet this big old Chimera Tech monster out, or you yeet out this giant freaking whatever, you know? It's great. I love it. Next up, a card that I was talking about a lot because of Laser Dragon, Photon Generator Unit. I don't know why it's a photon card, but it's a photon card. So, what's its effect? You can send 2 Cyber Dragons you control to the graveyard. Yes, you have to control them, so you're negging yourself 2 cards for a Cyber Laser Dragon. You go neg 2, get a Laser Dragon. However, I believe Laser Dragon's pretty good, so it's whatever to me. I'm not going to say he's worth the neg 2, but he's good. Non-targeting destruction. It's great. But yeah, that's all it does. I believe it summons from hand, deck, or grave. Yes. It summons your Laser Dragon from hand, deck, or grave. So it's like, boom! Let me just summon back this copy of Laser... Holy sh... I just realized. It's not once per turn. It's not once per turn at all. In any way, shape, or form. So, if you can somehow find a way to consistently have 2 Cyber Dragons on your board, and then link away or something your Laser Dragon, drop another Photon generator unit, summon back Laser Dragon. Since it's a soft once per turn on the destruction effect, you can just go summon, effect, pop, link, summon, effect, pop. Sadly, it can only be special summoned by this card, but you know what? It's whatever. Holy crap. Next up, we have 2 copies of Power Bond, the powerhouse of the deck itself, because Power Bond, great in any machine deck. So, let me catch my breath there. If you don't know what Power Bond does, it's basically polymerization, but it's for machine monsters only. So, everybody's like, well, why is it for machine? Because when you use this card to fusion summon a machine monster, you double that monster's attack. And then, at the end of the turn, basically, if you use this and somehow manage to not kill your opponent, you take damage equal to that monster's original attack. What? It doesn't kill the monster on end phase? It doesn't, do anything stupid like that? It's not this card that's like, hey, what up, dog? I'm gonna double your monster's attack. It can't do this and it can't do that, but it dies on end phase and then you take the burn. No, you just take the burn straight up. Straight up take the burn. Like, whoa. So yeah. Next up, we have 2 polys. Everybody knows poly If you don't know Poly, send fusion materials listed on a fusion monster from your hand or field to the graveyard and to fusion summon a monster. There you go. That's what it does. So yeah, that's Poly. Everybody knows Poly. It's been around forever, so yeah. Next up, we have 2 copies of Fusion Sage. I doubt anybody remembers this card being any sort of good back in the day. Unless you've been playing since Fusion Monsters were the only extra deck mechanic. And having a way to get Poly to your hand for free, Fusion Sage was the man. So, what do Fusion Sage do? Searches your deck for a Poly. That's all it does. It just searches for a Poly. So yeah, that's what it do. And then lastly, like I said, limiter removal. I'm not 100% certain what the 40th card in this deck was. Because when I found it, it was only 39 cards. So I'm assuming it was either another copy of Zwei Dry or it was a copy of limiter removal. So I'm just going to say it was limiter removal. And yeah, everybody knows limiter removal, double the attack of all machine monsters you control. They die on end phase. That's it. So let me clean this board off and I will get into the traps. Alright, so starting us off with the traps, we have 2 Cyber Network, continuous trap, and it's actually not bad. It has the effect that during your standby or something like that, you can banish a Cyber Dragon from the deck. And then during your third standby phase after this card was activated, you destroy it. And then when it's destroyed, or if this card is destroyed, and said, I don't know if it's a when or an if, but basically when this card blows up, even if it's not by its own effect, if this card blows up in any way, shape, or form, you summon as many of those banished monsters as possible. So if you manage to banish 3 monsters with it, it dies, and boom, there you go, you get 3 monsters. I know it's slow, but it's like, if it dies at any given time, you get the monsters. So, let me move those. So let's say you've only banished 1, and your opponent MSTs it after you banish the 1. You get the 1 monster, so it's like your opponent didn't really 1-for-1 because they got rid of a card and it got you a card back. So really, activating this, yes, right off the start it does nothing, but when it dies, it does a lot. It floats really well. So, in my opinion, this card is amazing, and if it wasn't a trap, it would be way too broken. So yeah. That's Attack Reflector, or not Attack Reflector, that's Cyber Network. This is Attack Reflector unit. You send a Cyber, or what it does, it's the card you use to summon Barrier Dragon with. It only summons from hand or deck, which sucks, being a trap. So what it do other than summon Cyber Barrier, you have to send a Cyber Dragon you control to the graveyard in order to summon Barrier Dragon. That's all it does, so you know what, let's get into the last trap of the day, 2 Dark Bribe. God, back in the day when Dark Bribe was okay to run, because sometimes stopping one thing and giving your opponent a card wasn't always the worst thing in the world. And it was like a really cheap thing because we didn't have Strike, and Warning was at 1 and super expensive, and Strike wasn't out, and all these other counter traps only worked with fairies. So, there you go, Dark Bribe. I'm going to clean this up and then we'll get right into my extra deck. Alright, so starting the extra deck off, instead of saying extra deck, I should just say fusion deck because this is before Infinity. That's how old this deck is. It's before Infinity. I think it's even no, it's after Nova. It's got to be after Nova, but it's before Infinity. Like it was that time frame between Nova being released in a structure deck and Infinity being released later on. But anyways, 3 Cyber End. If you don't know what this card does, it's the literal definition of a beat stick from way back in the day. It's 4K, requires 3 Cyber Dragon to be made. And it does piercing battle damage. That's literally all it does. It doesn't float on death. It just piercing battle damage. And it's 4K. So it's like Chaos Max before Chaos Max because it was a 4K fucking piercing thing. It's a big boy. And then you can you can power bond and limiter removal it, and it's like 16,000 attack. Like, boom! Big number. God damn, I stole that right out of Davinator 1212's mouth. Next up, we have 2 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Hey, you, motherfucker. I am cursing a lot. I am sorry. But anyways, what it do? What do we do? I believe he's a contact fusion of all machine monsters on the board from both player sides of the field. So, a fun little thing you can do with this thing is DNA surgery, call machine, make sure you have a Cyber Dragon, kaiju your opponent's entire board. Make this thing. And it gains 1,000 attack for every machine used for its summon. Which is like, whoa. Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's big dumb. I don't know if it does anything else. I'm not going to read because we're getting close to 30 minutes and I really want to get this done for you guys. So yeah. Next up, we're going to have 2 copies of Overdragon, Chimera Tech Overdragon. Cyber Dragon plus 1 or more machine monsters, gains 800 attack for each fusion material used for its summon, and it gains an additional attack for every fusion material you used for it. So if you use 2 monsters, it attacks twice. If you use 3, it attacks 3. If you use 10 monsters, somehow you use 10 machine monsters for this thing summon, it can attack a whopping 10 times, and it has 8,000 attack points. And if you power bond, it's 1,600 per monster used. So, using 4 monsters, that's what? 32 doubled, 64 can attack 4 times. Cool! Yeah. Next up, we have 3 Cyber Twins. Literally, all it does is attack twice, requires 2 Cyber Dragon to be made. So, boom, there's that. And then lastly, Rampage. If you don't know what Rampage does, it can Foolish Burial 2, up to 2 Cyber Dragons, or 2 Light Machines, or something like that from your deck. And when it does, you can pop Spell and Traps on your opponent's side of the field equal to that. And it gains an additional attack for each one. Or you pop equal to the number of fusion materials used for it. I don't know. But I know it Foolish Burials for extra attacks. So anyways, let me get this cleaned up and then we'll wrap up this video real fast. So if you guys did enjoy this video, I really hope you did because this is a run down memory lane for me. This was the deck I got my first ever win at with at locals. And it's my favorite archetype ever minus Dynamist. Actually, I think this beats out Dynamist just ever so slightly. I love this deck very much. It's very sentimental to me. And this deck is not going to be taken apart at all. I'm not going to take pieces out to put them in a newer deck. I'm going to reorder the cards. Because I'm stupid like that. And whenever I get that deck done, I'll bring it to you guys as a deck profile. But I really hope you guys did enjoy this trip down memory lane. If you did, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn on that bell. And be sure to watch my other videos because I have plenty other ones. And it's almost been a full year since I've been doing YouTube. We're on the road to 100 subs by the end of 2020. We're at 86 right now. So if we could get there, share this video. Please share my channel out. Tell your friends, hey, he's slowly getting there and he's awkward, but it's great because he provides with rogue decks. I only ever play rogue decks minus that rocket deck. That's like my only meta deck I play. I used to play True King Dinos, but that was that's a different story. I took that deck apart because I'm not happy about playing that. But anyways, like I said, if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, like it. Comment down below something you want to see next. Box opening, deck profile for whatever, so on and so forth. Anyways, guys, this video is broke 30 minutes, so I really need to get this done and uploaded. Love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.